Okay, for whatever reason, my recording software didn't capture my audio when I was recording this trade live. I do realize it later on in the video, and you guys will get some of my live reaction. But most of what I was like trying to explain the trade and everything happened when my microphone was not recording. So I'm gonna have to do a voiceover here. But basically, I'm sure if you guys were trading today, you guys saw the market sell-off we got coming into power hour. It was pretty significant. It wasn't like a 3% drop or anything like really crazy like that, but it was about like a 0.90% drop, which is pretty significant. And just in the speed and the pace it happened at made contracts go really wild. I was able to get into some 4,300 puts, and the reason for my entry, even though I was kind of chasing it, I think I entered somewhere around here on this candle here. So the original contracts I wanted to get in were actually already up like 120%, 150%. So I definitely did feel like I was chasing a little bit, but just the speed that it was happening at, I've seen similar type moves like this, and I know that they can go really big. So I think the risk reward was there. I grabbed some out the money contracts, so they were really inexpensive, and they were 0 DT, so I knew that they could get going if we saw this drop continue. And also, just to add to the conviction, the reason I chose to chase this trade, which is something I normally wouldn't do, is because just of the insane rally we've had recently on SPY. So I know that if at any point we decide to flip the direction and start coming back down, it would happen pretty quick. It would happen pretty quickly just because of how much we've rallied. So there's a lot of room down, and we were seeing that. We were seeing the volume, we were seeing the ticks were like negative 700, and I saw them flash negative 900 like multiple times. I think they flashed 3 or more times. So that added to my conviction. And also we've been on a 4-day, or today actually would have been the 5th green day in a row that we've had a green day, and so that was my conviction to get into the trade. Also just the size of the candles we were seeing, and again the ticks I was seeing, the speed, the volume, everything made sense. So I took this trade, and then by the time I hit recording, I was already up like 60%, which is insane. That happened extremely fast. And I show you guys the 10-minute candle. You can see it's a huge reversal, so there was no reason to sell at 50%, 60% gain, because I knew these could go a lot further, even though we were extended from like the 9 EMA, the moving average, everything I typically use to monitor stuff like extensions and stuff like that. Price points I would consider taking profits at. I didn't, because it was just such a unique experience. Otherwise, obviously, first of all, I wouldn't have chased this play if it wasn't these unique circumstances. And second of all, I would have taken profits a lot faster. You can see there ticks flashing 900, negative 900, which is really significant. And it wasn't just like a flash, actually. It actually stayed there pretty consistently while we were dropping. And then also we have the key level 4,300. That's very key. I didn't expect us to get over it, honestly, on this rally, but we did. So now coming back under it is pretty significant. And also on Bookmap, which shows liquidity, we had seen a pretty significant seller around the 4,320 range. So it makes sense that we would find an inflection point around that area. And then so we come down and we see this first initial bounce where my contracts are up 120%, but obviously because I'm up that much, I have cushion to let it go. And I understood that we were kind of extended, but I didn't expect us to wake all the way back up after ticks being negative 900. And again, all the circumstances I've explained, I just didn't expect us to go all the way back up, but obviously we did. I was kind of okay risking it because the short play is a trade that a lot of people have been looking for. I've been looking for it these past couple weeks, and we just haven't gotten it. So I feel like when we actually do get it, you don't want to end up selling early and miss out on the bulk of the move, because the move will happen fast, like we saw here, and it'll be nasty and it'll happen fast. So it's gonna be pretty hard to time. But if you do get a chance to get in, like I did here, you don't wanna get rid of your golden ticket that early. And I've learned this from experience, because the last time we had something similar to this, I fumbled the bag. I had puts perfectly, and if I would have held them, they would have gone insane. They would have gone absolutely insane. It's disgusting how much money I would have made if I would have held. So don't want to make the same mistake twice. And I'm not saying, like, if you guys are watching this, I'm not saying that the exact same thing's going to happen and we're just going to dump like 10% the next 3 days. But for the move we got intraday, it was worth holding. So we see the contracts go as low as like 80%, I think, but then we start wicking off. Ticks weren't extremely negative, positive, which is why I decided to stay in. And I kind of explained this later because I do take an additional trade later on in the video. I'm not going to spoil the result of it, but you guys will see me explaining ticks and stuff like that. So that's more part of the educational part of the video. this is just kind of the fun part where you guys get to see this play go 300%, which is wild. It hits like 360% at one point, I believe, or somewhere around there. So we do get this green candle, but it's not like, it's struggling to stay up, which is why I decided to stay in. And again, ticks are not increasing a lot. They're not staying above 500 consistently or anything like that. And the premiums are holding pretty nicely. Like they're staying at around 90%, 100%. I'm okay with that. So I end up holding, and eventually we do end up going lower. And I think my mic turns on around this time, so I'll leave you guys there. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Wait, I just realized my microphone was off that whole entire time. Okay, holy shit, I just left. These contracts are at 200 now. Let's go, bro. But this is what we were fucking waiting for. Holy crap. Okay, I'm gonna put a stop loss at these. Don't want to give back these gains. Gotta be smart. Damn, my swings, what would they be at? 4,300s. They're at 23 bucks, dude. Holy shit. I wanted to get filled on those at 9. Holy crap. Alright, let's just keep going, man. What it takes at negative 600. They're at 12 bucks now. Damn, dude. Thank God I caught this on camera. I pressed record, and I was already late, bro. Trust me, by the time I started recording, these contracts were already up like 150%, 200% from where I could have got them originally. So we'd be up like 500% right now. 330%. Alright, move my stop loss a little bit up higher now. Might get stopped out around here. Yeah, very close to getting stopped out here. Any little pullback and we're getting stopped out. Wow, these went from 3 to 2. Oh yeah, stopped out. Wow, great window. Holy shit. Might try to re-enter if we can see some more continuation, but what a job, man. If we can come back up here, consolidate a little bit. Wait, what time is it? 11:49. So I don't got much time to get back in. Those contracts exploded, man. GG's. If you guys caught that, GG's, bro. And I don't think this is over. This is not over. This is just the start. Let's see how the daily candle looks now. Can I show you guys that? Oh yeah, you guys can see my trading view over here. Wow, okay, look at that. That could be a nice reversal candle. Nasdaq is a little bit nastier, I think. Wait, it's more red on the day, but the candle isn't as nasty looking as this SPY one. Bro, the past 4 days has been wild. Can't believe we've continued higher. We hit 4,325. Okay, like we see continued weakness. Ticks negative 500. You guys can view ticks down here. Negative 500. PCAL has risen since we started the video. I think we started not that much lower. Like we started like at 68. They added like option statistics widgets on Webull now, so you can view like the PCAL ratio on there as well. The SPY PCAL volume for today has been 1.57. That's for SPY. For SPX is 1.22. For QQQ, they were a bit more aggressive with the puts, 1.8. And IWM, they were really aggressive with 2.3. So they bought a lot more puts. And then the overall put a call open interest ratio for SPY is 1.9. For SPX is 1.8. For QQQ, it's 1.9. And for IWM, it's 3.03. They've definitely been loading the puts. I think I saw a statistic that people or funds are the most short they've ever been, or like it's at that level where it's like really high short interest, which makes sense after this run. But that's also kind of the reason we've continued to go up, because you know, if everybody's leaning one side, market makers aren't going to let that print, and it's easy to get them stopped, and then once they get stopped they have to buy, which ends up causing the market to go up, and that causes the other short people to have to cover as well, and then it just creates like this short squeeze. That's pretty much what we've been seeing the past couple of days, I'm pretty sure. Because I don't think this rally, we're getting close to like 20% at this point. It's like 19%. Yeah, it's like 19% off the lows. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Insane opportunity. Unfortunately, I can't say I maximized or captured a lot of that. And it's mostly my fault just for having a big bias. I was trying to go short way too early. I need to like learn to wait for the first move. Like the time to get aggressive with shorts is like after seeing this, like after seeing that, all right, shorts are alive, they're starting to participate. We can actually see some nice continuation downwards. But the issue is we always obviously want to get the best price, and so you try to time the tops. Like you try to go short here, doesn't work out, you get stopped. You gotta wait for that first big initial reaction though. So after today, we should start seeing some more selling pressure come in the next few days, going into next week. Obviously we have FOMC minutes tomorrow, that could change stuff, but I think we should see a nice pullback. Like even if we continue higher eventually, a nice pullback is much needed. And that's just how moves are created. Like let's see, like here is a good example. It's just the nature of the market, right? You rally up, pull back, doesn't mean you're going to crash though, and then you make the next leg up, pull back, rally, pull back, rally, pull back. That's just how the market moves, and I think that's why people have been expecting this pullback, especially considering the fact that we were in a long-term downtrend. So the pullback should be even bigger, and we should actually be making new lows. People were expecting this just to be what we've been seeing, which is what caught people off guard and allowed this big move to happen. People were expecting, so now we're in the reverse, we're in a bear market. Now it's the opposite. You pull down, pull back, new low, pull back, new low, pull back, new low, pull back, new low. But we never saw that. We just kept going higher and higher, and that's the issue. People were looking for shorts here, then here, then here, then here, and you know, it just continues. The cycle continues. Here we go. Then we're coming down near lows again. That's good to see. The bounce wasn't as strong. Ticks are still negative, so that's a good sign. I still want to see a little bit higher to try to look for a re-entry potentially. But we already made some nice gains, 300% on any size. It's a nice win. Would have loved to go higher or bigger, but it just happened so fast, and I was already chasing, so I didn't want to go full size on that, because obviously that could also be very risky, especially with what we've been seeing. Like at the time when I was looking to go shorts, it was something like this. It could have easily just reversed and stalled, and obviously you only know after the fact. If we can come somewhere around this area, I'd be cool with getting some shorts there. Wouldn't want to see us come all the way up and over 429.50 though. If we do that, then we also got to start rethinking if, you know, this might have been just a one-time thing and we're not actually going to start selling off. Alright, here we go. Nice bounce. Want to see the 3-minute 90 EMA catch up so we can see that next leg down. I like to call this pattern the H pattern. But don't want to get in too early. That could be a mistake, and then you end up risking more than you needed to. We have 3 minutes left, so they might have brought it back just enough so we can get back in. I'll look at the 4,290s. How far do we go? Oh, those would have gone in the money, so yeah, I'm okay with those. We should make a new low here if we're going to see some continuation on the bear side. Peacock is back up to 2.71. These are going for 280. Maybe they're a bit out the money, but I'm okay with that, because I feel like we should see a pretty significant move. So let's let this thing touch right here. But we should start slowing down here. It ticks at 500. Let's see where they top out at. Don't want to see them stay consistently up here. It's fine if they touch like 700, 800, but I don't want it to sustain up there and like hold. I want to eventually start seeing them come back down to 0, and that's when I'll look to enter my puts. Alright, 500, 500. Tempted to start like a starter here, but because we only got 2 minutes left, this might be the best price we're gonna get. But we haven't quite yet touched it, which is fine. You don't have to completely touch it, because then when you come back down and make a new low, it'll adjust and it'll show like it touched. So I think I'm gonna throw an order. We're kind of like stalling here. I like that. If we can get filled at 265, they're calling at 280, 275. There we go. We got filled. Alright, got filled at 265. Alright, gonna put a stop around 429.50. If we go above 429.50 and we're seeing ticks high and they're holding, I'll stop out. Otherwise, we're gonna hold this, aiming for that new low here. I'll think of taking profits there, and if it's looking weak, we might try to hold it for a bigger move, but that's my plan for now. So our entries around here, that's about our risk reward. ticks 300, so they're slowly coming down. 100, there we go, smaller ticks. So they're basically back to 0 now. That's exactly what we wanted to see. We wanted to see price all around this area, not see ticks hold above like 500-ish, 600-ish, come back down, and then eventually go back into the negatives, which is what they did right now. Negative 277, exactly what we want to see. Big nice red candle. We might kind of stall here a little bit. That's what tends to happen with the H pattern, which is what we're playing right now. So we might stall around here a little bit, but don't want to see it start doing the things that we don't want to see, like high ticks, holding above high ticks, starting to break to new highs. So if like we break this high here, that wouldn't be a great sign. I've seen it happen before where it happens and then it gets a quick rejection. If that happens, it might still work out, but it's not ideal. Ideal is we come back down, make another red candle after this one, maybe stall a little bit and then break new lows. That'll be the most ideal. So right now we're up 35%. Tick's not really going positive, so I'm not too worried about this bounce, but I would like this candle to close a little bit weaker than that. How much minutes do we have left? We have 1 minute 30 seconds left on this candle. Usually candles get a little bit crazy the last like 10-20 seconds of them being open. So we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch ticks when that's happening. But right now ticks still in the negatives, which is really nice. We're getting this little bounce on this candle, but I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, again, it's not ideal, but you got to be willing to hold through stuff like this in order to capture the bigger move. Otherwise, you could have taken it for 30% there. Still would have been a solid win, but then you miss out on the chance of potentially hitting 100%, 200% like we did earlier. So it's just all about risk reward, give and take. If you're okay with that 30%, then go for it. You know, you're less time in the trade, it's less risky, less stress, and you're in and out. So it's up to you. Okay, we're back down, closing red, closing pretty weak on this candle here. Exactly what we want to see. 30 seconds left. Again, it might get a little wild the last 10 seconds, but as long as we hold around anything under 0.90 is fine, but ideally it's near the low of the candle. 20 seconds left. Here we go. Ticks are at negative 280, which is fine. Obviously, once we start pushing to the new low, they should push lower to like negative 500, negative 800 even, but we might see some consolidation because this was a pretty big move. So just gotta be a little bit patient with them. So 0DTs did close already. Okay, nice. We closed super weak on this candle. There we go. New candle opening. That's exactly what we wanted to see. So far, everything that we wanted to happen is happening. So no reason to exit just yet. Obviously, if you want to play it smart, you can put a stop loss on these contracts like at 3.5 to make sure you don't go red and you still lock in a nice profit. But I'm just going to give it some room here because these are 0DTs and they do move a lot. So you could end up getting stopped and then it just wicks back down. So going to give it a lot of room. We already locked in a very nice gain earlier with that 300+% play. So here we go. Nice rejection there. Wick off the candle. Great to see. Ticks increasing or decreasing, however you want to say it, to negative 600. Very nice to see. Gives me the confidence that we will break this low and then potentially come all the way back down and test low of day. That would be asking for quite a bit, but it is possible with the selling pressure that we're seeing, and I wouldn't put it past us. I mean, if we were able to climb up here and do this on like the 5th green day in a row, why can't we pull back like 1% on a red day, right? So yeah, this was a 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have been the 5th straight green day in a row, and they were able to push us quite a bit from the lows. Yeah, 1.13%. So why can't they push us down 1% on the 5th green day, right? All right, so I'm gonna step in here. After the fact, it's I'm doing a voiceover once again. There's 30 minutes of footage to left where I stay in the trade. Again, if you were watching the markets, you probably know what happens next. But spoiler alert, this ends up being a 60% losing trade, which honestly shouldn't have happened. And this is more of an example of what not to do. I might show you guys some of the clips of where I'm like trying to justify why I remain in the trade, but it shouldn't be the case where you have a trade that's up. I didn't even realize this until I'm editing the video. At one point, I was up over 100% on these, and I ended up taking a 60% loss on them. So that shouldn't have happened. I should have had a take profit. at least somewhere just above break even, around $3 on the contracts. That would have been a decent stop loss to have. Once they hit over 100%, I should have put that in immediately. But there was a couple things that kept me in that I was kind of using to justify for me to stay in the trade. But that's a big red flag. Although you should have reasons to stay in the trade, and I think they were somewhat justified, but I was definitely too blinded by my bias, which at the moment is short. And the fact that I've missed a lot of this rally, I think influences that even more, where I really want to catch this big, massive red trade. I think earlier in the video, I pointed back to the June 9 day where we dropped like a huge amount. And then in the following 3 days, we dropped like 10% on SPY, which was huge. And if you would have caught that, you would have made massive, massive gains. And I missed a big portion of that. So this time I'm overcompensating and trying to hold trades, which is something I failed to do last time. Which holding trades isn't a bad thing, but if you're letting trades go from 100% to negative 60%, that's a red flag there. So I guess recording myself taking trades and explaining them is actually helping me become a better trader, because I wouldn't have noticed this. I mean, I would have noticed it even if I hadn't recorded it, but actually seeing myself play through this, try to explain to myself why I'm still in the trade and all that stuff, and being able to replay it is really helpful. So if you guys are not recording your trades, I think you really should do it, and even do like live commentary. Even if you're not going to post it to anybody, you're just going to record it for yourself. It's pretty helpful. So yeah, I'm not going to show you guys a full 30 minutes. I'll try to cut up some important clips here and there if I can find some. But yeah, I mean, like my entry was great. The initial execution of it was great, staying in the trade, holding for the bigger move. I even mentioned that it would have been smart to put a stop loss at 3.5, but I just didn't do it myself. I should have done that. And at the end of the day, it was a 60% loss, but I wasn't like massive in it. And I think I mentioned that I was still up like 80% of my gains if you combine the 300% play I just had and then this one. So I feel like that's why I was a little bit more lenient. The 60% loss wasn't that big, and I was aiming for that big. You know, I even said that my target was potentially the low of day. So I was looking for that big 200%, 300% trade again. And it just didn't happen. So it's okay, whatever. But I think there is some important things to learn. So yeah, if you're ever big on a trade, it's definitely smart to put a stop loss near break even or just above, because it shouldn't be the case that you let a trade go 100% to negative 60% and take a loss on it. So, but yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the 300% trade. I know there wasn't a lot of commentary, like live commentary. Again, when I was recording, I thought you guys heard all my explaining, and then only after the fact that I realized that the whole time my microphone wasn't recording. So sucks, but hopefully my voiceover explanation helped you guys a little bit understand why I took the trade and all that stuff. And in terms of why I ended up taking profits there, it's because obviously we were getting extremely extended at that point, and I did the smart thing. You know, once I was up 350% on the trade, I realized, okay, I don't want this trade to end up only being 100% winner or a 50% winner. So I put my stop loss where I was comfortable, saying, okay, I'll give it this much room, but I want to lock in at least a 300% winner, which is what I did. I put my stop loss there, and the risk reward, give and take. That's super, super important. Whenever you're in a trade, you always got to be constantly reevaluating the risk reward. I know there's an initial risk reward when you enter a trade, but there's also a risk reward once you're in the trade, and specifically when you're in the profits. Like in this case, I was up 100%. And after the fact, after knowing that I take a 60% loss, it would have been smart to say, okay, I want to lock in at least a 20% trade. If this trade goes from being up 100% to back down to 20%, I'll just take it there. I don't want to risk it going red on me, and especially not negative 60% red on me. So I should have put a stop loss there, and that would have been my defined risk. I'm giving it room here at 100% to see if it could potentially go 200%. So I'm willing to risk the 80% profit, the difference between 100% to 20%, for the potential to make an additional 100%. So an 80% for another 100% risk reward, if that makes sense. Which is not even that great risk reward. So I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I let this trade go on for so long. I guess it's because I've seen this setup happen so many times, and usually I think the setup happens a lot earlier in the day. If it would have been earlier in the day, I do think we would have ended up with a nice winner there, and we could have potentially seen a low of day. But because it was towards the end of the day, I think that kind of influenced it in not working out, and I should have just realized that and had put my stop loss. But yeah, I think I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm gonna leave you guys there. I'm not sure if I'm going to include more clips here. I think maybe there might be a few more clips after this one. Here, 2 hour nice rejection wick candle. Looks like a reversal candle potentially, but we have seen this in the past, so we got to be wary. Saw it right here, saw it right here-ish, and it even got some continuation on the next candle, and then boom, the next day. So we've been seeing these type of candles, but this one seemed a little bit different. It seemed, you know, on the speed that it happened, the pace that it happened, how the contracts moved, it seemed different, right? It seemed like they were actually intentionally selling, and they were getting aggressive with it, and it happened in the snap of a finger, which isn't what happened the last few times. This candle's wicking here a little bit, but ticks are going back to zero basically. Again, kind of expected. Just gonna let it chop around here for a little bit. At this point, now that we've come all the way down here, now it would be kind of bad if we saw it make a new high. When we were down here, it was kind of like, okay, it can make a new high, but coming from all the way back down here, that's a bit aggressive, so wouldn't want to see that. But I don't see like major red flags for making me like get out of this trade. Again, after this nice rejection, and if we see this kind of close weak and then the next candle starts breaking below this low right here, that would be a potential spot to add. But again, I'm limited and I can't do that with my broker. But just like a game plan, like if you were playing a different type of play but it looks similar to this, that's how you could play it. Ticks back down to zero, so that's what we were talking about. It's okay if ticks go up like momentarily for a couple of seconds, but the thing is sustaining. That's the important thing. If it sustains at above 500 ticks, that starts to become a problem. But if it like flashes 500 but then it comes back down, that's no problem. It's gonna happen. You know, it's just natural movement of the market, but it's all about the sustaining the ticks up there. Same with the negative ticks. Okay, here we go. Nice. We didn't end up making a new high. Exactly what we want to see. Crossed above the EMA, but not by much, and instantly rejected it. All great signs here. And then this candle right here, remember I told you guys, if it closes weak and then the next candle is breaking its low, that would be a good spot to add. And then you could put a stop around here, or if you want to be a little bit more lenient, put a stop around here, and then have that reward of potentially making new lows and then testing those pre-market or earlier low days. Back up on the contracts with a nice little cushion of 30%, so in a decent position right now. If we can break these lows here at 428.35, I'd feel a lot more comfortable, but we're not in a bad position right now. Okay, that candle wicked, not ideal. Would have liked to see this kind of close a little bit weaker. What are ticks at? Ticks are at 100, so they're ticking up a little bit here. Could see another rejection of the EMA though. Hopefully that's what this is. Unfortunate, man. After being up 60%, man, the market can be brutal. There we go, stopped out. All right, looks like we're gonna reverse potentially. Sucks, not the most ideal. Would have been nice to see some continuation on the selling, but you don't always get it. Still walking away with 60% of our profits from that 300%. Actually, a little bit more. Like, we're still walking away with 80% of our profits from that 300% trade, but we did give back some of it, which leaves you with that little like bad feeling, especially because we at one point we were up 60%, so it could have been the reverse. We could have been up 120% or 20% more on top of what we made with the 300% play. But sucks, but you gotta respect your play. Unfortunate with 0 TTs. It sucks because our entry was around here, so you know, 60% loss after it being only up that, but it's the theta, man, with the 0 DTs, which is what allows you to have those big 300% wins, so can't complain too much. And man, oh man, if this reverses here, I'm gonna be so mad. Alright, but looks like market wants to rip. It's a little bit irrational at this point, but what can you do? What can you do? You can't just fight the trend. See, now the contracts are at 45, they're pretty much dead at this point. So at least we saved ourselves the 70 cents. Alright, I guess that's the end of the video. Video wasn't too structured. I just saw the momentum that was happening and I wanted to record it just so I could have it documented, and I guess I'll post this. Could be used as some kind of like could be used as like education and stuff. So hopefully you guys were able to take something from this. There's both a win in the video and a loss, so you got something from both worlds. But anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys there. Thank you so much for watching the video if you did. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's been me, Zero, and I'm out. Peace.